Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League live tonight from Martinsville Speedway here in Martinsville, Virginia for the final race of round one of the playoffs. And two drivers already locked into the next round. The third driver yet to be determined. We'll find out after 200 laps around this half-mile paperclip shaped racetrack here tonight. Looking forward to a very exciting short track event. The Virtual Racing League. Not too big of a field here tonight, but could be some good competitive racing up towards the front of the field. And still some of the best drivers in all of sim racing here in this league. We'll be putting on a show for us here tonight. The 200 laps, 100 miles, and we will have a stage break at lap number 80. This is race 21 of 25 this season. And like I mentioned, the finale of the first round of the playoffs. And as though, take a look at the standings coming into tonight's race. See where drivers are setting up to go into that second round. Conor winning last week at Watkins Glen. 7 victories this season, locks himself into round number 2. Adam Cabot, winner from week 1 of the playoffs at Charlotte. He is already advanced as well. The next drivers in line will be AJ Stravato, Yusuf Ghali, Mark Emerson, Dylan Parker, Elliott Butler, and Greg Wellen, all drivers on the inside for the moment, but it is tied at the cut line. Greg Wellen and Alec Martinez, and Alec missing the first race of the playoffs. So looking to try and rebound here tonight and find his way into the top 8. Keith Mayato missed last week, so he is going to be digging himself out of a hole, 13 points out. Also Jeff Wright, who has missed, I believe, one of the races as well. I think it was last week, actually, and he finds himself pretty far behind, 28 points. He'll need to win to advance here tonight. Jeremiah Vincent just 6 points out. He's looking for a solid run where he can earn some points and point his way into the top 8. So should be an interesting night. Should be some storylines to follow along with. Hope you guys enjoy as we are about to get going here for the qualifying session. First driver on the racetrack looks to be Mark Emerson. He's going to take his time here rolling off of pit lane. There we go, a little spin of the tires, now up to speed or getting up to speed. Right on board here with Mark. He heads towards the start-finish line to begin his first hot lap. Comes across the start-finish line there, 19.873. Will put him fastest. No one else with the time just yet. Jeremy Miller out here on the racetrack. Saw Jeremy have a very good race last night at Circuit of the Americas in the below the Double Yellow Cup Series, but looking for a potential short track victory tonight. Let's see where he goes up on the board. 19.57. That is going to be a great lap right there for the number 30 machine. Haley Turner also up to speed. He was pretty quick in practice, 19.58. Dylan Parker now to the top with a 19.44. Jeremiah Vincent getting out on the racetrack. Keith Mayato looks like he is up to speed. May actually just be going for lap number 2, trying to get these tires warmed up a little bit. So first lap going to be a wash at a 28.6 it appears, or actually I think still on that first lap. Adam Cabot, winner from 2 weeks ago, finished on the podium last week at Watkins Glen, looking for another strong run tonight. He'll start his first flying lap, or rather wrap up his first flying lap in 19.65. That'll put him 6th out of 7. As now Mayato puts in a very slow time for lap 1, but I think it actually takes it behind the wall, so not sure what is going on there with Keith. Jeff Wright on the speedway, trying to get a good lap time in as well. Jeff, a winner at Sonoma earlier this season, missed quite a few races, and look at this, he's actually going to start from the back as well, or at least reset and give it another go. Zach Halpern just rolling off the pit road, just 2 minutes left in the qualifying session, and 9 drivers have qualified. Head towards that start finish line, get up to speed here for lap number 1. So Zach was saying he might just run around back here tonight, try and keep the car clean and be there at the end. Alec Martinez now rolls out off of pit road. Jeff Wright on his flying lap. We'll see what kind of lap time comes in for the driver of the 48. Here he comes. And 1964, that should be about 6th or 7th. Yeah, 7th spot. Zach Halpern goes 5th. And Alec Martinez on his first lap. He is taking the strategy of kind of sacrificing lap 1 and going to try and pick it up here on lap number 2. He'll do a 20.44 on lap 1 and hooking right around that curb down on the inside lane, right up by the outside wall. Hard on the brakes down into turns 3 and 4. Here he comes back onto the front straightaway. 19.507, nice lap there. He'll go 3rd, and that'll push Conor Horn back to the 4th position. It looks like the 29 of Angelo Ronis also out here. He's got 30 seconds remaining. We'll have just enough time for a second lap at 19.71. That put him 11th out of 13. He'll try another lap time here. Across the start-finish line right there, 1969 puts him 11th out of 13. Right, so that is going to wrap it up for qualifying. Let's take a look at your starting grid in tonight's race at Martinsville. The final race in the first round, the round of 12. Starting on pole, it is going to be the number 3 machine of Dylan Parker with a very good lap time right there. The 1944 puts him atop the boards. Bailey Turner going to be rolling off to his outside in that 2nd position. Rolling off from the 3rd position will be Alec Martinez, the 18 machine. His outside will be Conor Horn in the 67 in 4th position. Rolling off from row number 3 in the 5th position, Elliott Butler in the 6th car. His outside, it'll be Zach Halpern in the number 7. In the 7th position, it'll be Jeremy Miller, the 30 car. His outside, it'll be Jeff Wright in the 48. Pulling off from the 9th position here tonight, Adam Cabot, 77, the Magic Man, a 4-time winner, looking for another one this season. His outside, Jeremiah Vincent, rounding out the top 10 on the grid. Pulling off in 11th spot, it'll be Angelo Ronis. His outside, Mark Emerson, starting in 13th. Last of the drivers to take the time, Keith Mayato, a 2-time winner this season. Yusuf Ghali also to his outside, seeking his first victory of the year. Garrett Height going to be rolling off from 15th. We know Garrett's pretty strong at these short tracks. His outside showing Reggie Ortega. I'm not sure Reggie is going to be in the race. He's usually the admin around here, showing him 16th on the grid. And final car showing in the field, Greg Wellen in 17th position. Greg needs a strong run here. Last driver on the inside of the cut line into tonight's race. We are about to get rolling and underway. Go. Dylan Parker will lead the field to the green flag with Bailey Turner to his outside. Take a look at the weather for tonight's race. 72-degree air temp, 98-degree track temp, so a little bit hot here, but not too bad. Should be enough grip for these guys. I'm sure they run slicker race conditions, but this track can be tricky. it's flat corners and getting up out of turn 2 and turn 4 can be very difficult. We'll go one more lap around under pace conditions. Here on Your Favorite Driver, let us know you're out there. We can follow along with them throughout the race, and we want to thank you so much for joining us here on VSPEED. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. Of course, consider following, subscribing, whatever you'd like to do to support the channel. It really goes a long way to helping us produce great broadcasts and race coverage. Look forward to wrapping up the season here in a few weeks, and potentially looking at some new faces in the league for next season as well. I think it should be a lot of fun to get good sizes back up here. But these guys are going to put on a show no matter what, of course. So here we go. The final race in the round of 12 for the Virtual Racing League. Green flag in the air. We're underway from Martinsville. Hanging on to this race lead with pressure already from the 24 Bailey Turner. We're counting the turn 1 start lap number 5. All the way just a bit around Martinez, Conor and Elliott Butler who round out the top 5. They're racing cleanly. We'll probably see a little bit of bumper action later in this race. So early on, there's no real rush at the moment. We're racing the lap number 80 for the break. Top drivers will earn stage points. Looks like there for a moment, Angelo Ronas had some pressure from Jeremiah Vinsky. You see Jeremiah really go much deeper into the corner than the 29, and it really does hurt him on the exit side of things. It's 54 Busey Gali now takes the peak down low. Jeremiah really diving into the corner there. You see he gets the back end to kind of hook up there. Drive off pretty straight. That seems to be the technique that's from the 54. Jeremiah goes down in. Diane's that farther. That looks like Adam Cabot and Jeff Wright swapping positions. Cabot with Fulton 8. He's got a good look down to the inside in turn number 3, right along the curve. He's going to drive right on past that opens the door for Mayato. Move up to 11, he will do so down in turn 1. Jeremiah going to try and cut back down, maybe crossing over, can't get the drive off. They'll drop back as well. Now here's the single file. Parker leading, Bailey Turner second. Sorry about that. Turning the mic volume up right there. I'm not sure what happened. It's possible we had a setting change on the microphone. Hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. And Dylan Parker is leading the way. Bailey Turner in that second spot. Alec Martinez third, holding off the pressure from Conor Horn. But Conor, really good drive out of turn 4 right there. Might have been saving his stuff for the first few laps, and now maybe going to try and advance. Go on board with Conor. Seven-time winner already this season, looking for another one. Trying to get it done here tonight at the short track as he works to the inside now of Alec Martinez. A really good run out of turn 2 got him that opportunity. He's going to stay there. Alec does not shut the door on him just yet. And this is going to be a difficult battle for Alec to win, I think. Alec giving him plenty of room down into the corner, just trying to find a spot in line as Elliott Butler tried to get down underneath him. Not going to be able to do so, but Conor Horn now up to third. Alec Martinez back to fourth, and we're used to seeing Alec save his stuff early on. And that may be the case yet. Not exactly sure. It's Jeremy Miller a little bit wide on entry right there. 48 car rolled right up to his bumper and then lost a little bit of drive off. Yeah, but Alec Martinez definitely holding up Elliott Butler right now as he's let Conor Horn by. I think the tactic is probably save his stuff. 80 laps in this stage is still a pretty decent distance. Sorry about the audio volume. I'm not sure. Sometimes on these short tracks, the way that the car engine sound comes through, it's definitely louder than some of the other tracks. So I have to get that figured out when we come to these short tracks. Sometimes it takes a little bit of recalibration. But right here, Angelo Ronas, he's got Jeremiah Vincent behind him again. They have all settled out here, but Jeremiah spinning the tires a little bit out of turn number 4. And now Jeff Wright looking to the inside of Jeremy Miller, not quite close enough to make that move. Jeremy really dove it deep into the corner, but he has cooked those rear tires now. And I think the 48 just waiting for that opportunity again. As Jeremy definitely sliding up out of the corner. Really good launch there from the 48 out of turn 2. He'll get to the inside of the 30. And side by side through 3 and 4, Jeremy's still fighting for traction on the high side, but he'll be able to clear the 48. Now down into 1, he almost shut the door on him, and that would have been a late decision, I think, but a better drive off for Jeff Wright that time. And 30 just been able to hold him off on that end of the racetrack. A little bobble right there. Also, it looked like Adam Cabot brushing the wall just a touch. And a lot more even this time down the backstretch. It looks like Jeremy wiggling there into the outside barrier. And he's going to dive really deep into the turn. That's going to cost him, though. Slipped up the racetrack. Here goes the 48. Almost clears him. Jeremy fighting back on the high side. Good battle right here for that 6th and 7th spot on track. And that might just do it right there. 30, I think, brushed the wall again. Here comes Adam Cabot. Going to try and get down low. Can't get there. Jeremy now going to try and cross him back over, but the door is closed. The 48 has the spot. Move Jeff Wright to the 6th position. Well, Dylan Parker out in front now by 2 seconds. He is just driven away. And Bailey Turner starting to feel some pressure from Conor Horn for 2nd position. Here he comes. Behind them, it's just a second back to Alec Martinez. team right there, trying to hold off Elliott Butler, and Jeff right now up to that 6th spot. But nobody side by side. Adam Cabot really pouring the pressure on that 30. And a little wiggle right there. That's going to give some breathing room to Jeremy Miller. But Jeremy definitely struggling a little bit on the backside of this short run. Count out Yusuf Ghali or Keith Mayato. Yusuf up to 9th, and he is closed within a second of Adam Cabot. Keith Mayato just 1.2 back from Yusuf, so these guys are marching forward in the top 10. Keith needs a really good run. He needs to basically finish on the podium to be able to advance to the next round after missing last week. Well, Elliott Butler, though, really good start to this race in 5th. Trying to make a move on Alec Martinez, but maybe some blinking issues starting up now for that 6 car. Oh, and a mistake from Jeremy Miller. Tries to shut the door on the 77 of Adam Cabot, who almost gave him the bumper down into turn 1, and Adam is there. He's going to peak low. He's going to maybe make a late diving move here. He'll dive into turn 3, get that car slowed up enough. Jeremy able to defend on the high side, though. Drives away from him. And Cabot now trying to do the switcheroo. He goes wide on entry and trying to diamond that corner and get the run off. He's going to try again down here in 3 and 4. Not close enough. Got the right tactic. That is how you make the pass. If you can get a really good run, you got to dive in on the high side, cut down, and try and get underneath that guy in front of you. And looks like Yusuf Ghali might be setting up for that same style attack to take away the 8th position. Oh, and a wiggle right there by the Long Tech machine. A little touch right there, just reminding him I'm right here, waiting for you guys to slip up. And you don't want to give any ounce of space to this 54 car. He will take it. Last year's champion, still looking for that race win this season. Had a lot of good runs here as of late, though. Back here at the tail end of the lead pack, or tail end of the lead lap, Marcus Emerson and Greg Well in 15th, 16th, and Mark really struggling right now. Not sure what happened to the 22, but he has lost some pace here, and he's got a little bit of right side damage. Here comes Greg. Really good run out of 2. He's going to get to the inside. Mark might just give it to him. He will roll really wide there and hand over that spot. So Mark Emerson currently 16th out of 16. The battle up here inside the top 5 still continuing. Alec Martinez 4th, and the 2nd position has changed hands. Conor Horn has gotten around 2.8 seconds behind Dylan Parker, and just halfway through stage number 1, he can set his sights forward. Taking a look at lap times last time around, almost a 10th quicker than the 3 car. We'll see what they are looking like at the line this time. Dylan with a 20.46, Conor with a 20.50. So 400 slower for Conor Horn, so he'll have to pick up the pace a little bit more if he wants to get up there and challenge for this stage win and add to that mountain of playoff points. We'll be coming up on some lap traffic in not too much time, though. The 3-car of Dylan Parker, you see him headed into turn number 3. Mark Emerson is just coming out of turn 4. There's Mark. There's Dylan. Not much of a difference right there. That's the view out the front of the 3-car. And Mark Emerson was 5th in points entering tonight's race with a reasonable gap to the cut line, so he doesn't need a whole lot here. I think he really just had to enter the race to advance. He's doing whatever he needs to right now to survive this race and maybe get a little better position at the end. But Dylan Parker sees his lead maybe starting to shrink. No, Conor Horn still not fast enough. 400's faster, and he's got Bailey Turner not going away. Keep an eye on that 18 car. He's coming back towards these guys. Pulled away from Elliott Butler, who's potentially starting to struggle. Battles back here as Adam Cabot has lost the spot to Yusuf Ghali. Next in line is going to be Keith Mayato to take over that 9th position. Keith is right there doing the wide entry. He'll cut down the racetrack, trying to get that good run off. Doesn't seem to work as well out of turn 2 as in and through 3 and 4. But not working for Keith on either end of the racetrack that time. As Jeremy Miller's still struggling up here a little bit. He's definitely used up those rear tires. And Yusuf Ghali is waiting in the wings to take advantage. Yusuf came into this race 4th in the standings. Oh, and Adam Cabot in the outside wall. And that's going to open the door for Keith Mayato. But 77's not done just yet. Keith not able to clear him up out of turn 2. Almost tries to. And at the completion of lap number 50, Keith Mayato now up to 9th. Adam Cabot falls to the 10th spot. Cabot already locked into next round, so no concern for him with where he's going to finish tonight. Meanwhile, up here at the front, Dylan Parker has caught Mark Emerson and might be feeling a little aero disadvantage, even though it's a short track. Downforce is very important. He really slid all the way around 1 and 2 right there, and Conor Horn is closing last lap a 10th and a half faster. And with the laps remaining, that would be quick enough to get there. It's just making a pass at this track is very difficult on old tires. That time 700's faster, still cutting away. But fastest car on the racetrack was actually Jeff Wright in 5th. Gotten around Elliott Butler. Starting to close up on these other top 5 drivers. Dylan Parker sees his lead now dip under 2 seconds. Conor Horn only 15 thousandths faster, so he's gonna have to put down some better laps than even that. 25 to go this time at the line. And Bailey Turner and Alec Martinez are now right here and ready to battle for second. Alec needs as many points as he can get. Came into this race tied at the cut line with Greg Wellen. So this would be a huge advantage if he can get a few points here. Conor already locked in as well. He has nothing to race for other than the playoff point, so if he can't get up there, he may... well, it might still be strategic to hold these guys back. Next car potentially in line to get lapped. That's going to be Greg Wellen, who is currently 19 seconds behind the leaders, and that puts him about 1.7 in front. And Dylan Parker, big slide through 1 and 2 right there. That is going to cost him some time. He has really used those rear tires. Now that gap's shrinking down into turn 3. He's got nothing left of those rear tires under braking. Really struggling right now. The 67 of Conor Horn is closed up now 3/4 of a second. That time around, he lost an entire second to the 67. Bailey Turner hoping he could maybe make a move before those two get to battling. Maybe find himself at the front of the field for the stage, and he looks to the left side of Conor, not going to make the move fully, just letting him know that he's there. The 18 of Alec Martinez, really good drive up out of turn number 2. The 24, a big wiggle right there, almost some contact as they get under braking down into 3 and 4, and here we go down the front stretch again. The gap for the race lead, just 3.5 tenths. Alec really trying some things now, going up in that second groove. And it looked like Dylan was going to run away with it. He was 2.8 seconds ahead, and within the span of about 5 laps, that is all gone. Now it's just a car length between these top two, and he is doing everything he can to hold on to it. That time at the line a little bit quicker than Conor, but that's probably just the nature of Conor trying to figure out where to go. And he's got to hold up these guys behind him. Bailey Turner, he's got the 18 all over him. And then Jeff Wright starting to close in on this as well. He's about 1.5 tenths faster than these top 4. Also, Keith Mayato's gotten around Yusuf Ghali, who's started to fade a little bit. Next in line for him, Jeremy Miller. Mark Emerson, the lap car. Keith needs as many points as he can get. He came in second to last in the playoff order. So every spot is going to matter. As look at this, Alec Martinez looking to the outside of the 24, Bailey Turner, and oh, Dylan Parker, mistake out of turn 2. That can open the door for the 67 as he does move up to the outside lane. Conor gets right along the quarter panel, gives him a little shot there, and oh my goodness, it's going to be side by side through turn 1. Conor Horn now to the outside, and the 3 slips up the racetrack a little bit. This could be the move of the race, or really the move of the stage, as side by side they go. The 3 car trying to keep the rear tires on it, trying to keep it down there on the inside lane. And he's somehow still holding off Conor, but you can see getting up on the throttle on the straightaways. He is even struggling there and drifting all the way through these corners. Conor with a good drive now down into turn 3. Can he clear? And a big shot from the 24. That's going to send the 3 up the racetrack. Bailey moves to second. Here comes Jeff Wright. He's going to try and take third. As Alec Martinez now gets checked up, he's going to fall back to 5th. Dylan Parker with a lack of tire conservation right there. That's going to cost him here on the second half of the stage, and that's what I was concerned about. Tracked him down, and they all made it past. So Dylan Parker, not how he wanted that stage to go. But the battle for the race lead still not over. Bailey Turner gave up that spot to Conor, and here he goes, going to look down to the inside into turn 3. Conor up the racetrack, going to give him some space. Bailey trying to get that drive off, to stay along the quarter panel. I think Conor clears him though. It's still not going to shut the door. Up out of turn number 2. It'll be 10 to go to the end of the stage, and we've got side-by-side racing for the stage win. Bailey overshot the turn. He's going to give up that battle for the moment. Here comes Jeff Wright as well. And And remember, for that 48 car, it's basically a winner-go-home situation. Alec Martinez also needing a lot of points. If that 48 car wins, it could put him on the outside. So for him, it is going to be finish as best you can and hope for that win. Here comes the battle again for the race lead. Bailey Turner got a great run out of turn number 2. Now fully alongside Conor Horn. Up out of turn 4, Conor wiggling now as the 24 takes the race lead away. Bailey Turner to the point. Conor trying to slip down in line. Almost got a shunt there from the 48. And the top 4 have broken away. Bailey Turner, or rather Dylan Parker, fading back to 5th, and Elliott Butler closing up behind him. Battle for 7th and 8th about to take place as well. Keith Mayato is there. He is on the back bumper of Jeremy Miller. And now for second, Jeff Wright looks to the inside of Conor Horn. Conor, I think what happened is he saved his stuff early on, then used it all up in those 10 or so laps where he caught the 3. And he's doing a little drifting through the turns. Really good driving by these guys up here. Great battling. Nice and clean as well. As Alec Martinez now trying to find a way around the 67. He'll look to the outside and can't get the power down right there, but definitely putting the pressure on with just a few to go. 5 laps or 4 laps remaining in the stage. And back here, Jeremy Miller still able to hold off Keith Mayato. Dylan Parker still holding off Elliott Butler, but these battles getting closer and closer. Adam Cabot, Yusuf Gali also fighting for position. We see Garrett Kite, Angelo Ronis also fighting for some spots here. Now the battle for third is Alec Martinez to the inside, hard on the brakes into turn 3. Good drive off the curb there, able to keep it pointed in the right direction. You can see these guys, the back end's just trying to step out under braking. They've got those biases so far back. Get the car to rotate on turn entry. And it has worked now for Alec Martinez, who gets around to third. Driver who started in third but faded a little bit, as we're accustomed to seeing. Right back to where he started. Maybe going to be too far back as Jeff Wright, who started 8th, up to 2nd. Bailey Turner started 2nd. And he's taking the race lead here, coming to the stage close. And Bailey Turner is going to win the stage. Jeff Wright 2nd. Let's take a look here at some of these battles. Dylan Parker holds off Elliott Butler. Jeremy Miller able to hold off Keith Mayato. Those are your top 8. So Bailey Turner wins the stage. And going to pull a playoff point away from those playoff drivers. None of them earning that point. Jeff Wright finishes 2nd. He needed all of those points, and he's still going to need a lot more. Alec Martinez 3rd, Conor Horn 4th, Dylan Parker 5th, Elliott Butler 6th, Jeremy Miller 7th, and Keith Mayato earning a single point here in stage number 1. Drivers bring it on to pit road, led by Bailey Turner. We'll see if anybody stays out on the racetrack. Lucky dog should be Greg Wellen. As we'll see, he should get the wave around this time. And there he goes. As the leaders pulling into their boxes. Dylan Parker going to have to figure out how to conserve those tires a bit better here in stage number 2. We'll see who wins that battle off. And it looks like that'll be the 24 Bailey Turner, then Jeff Wright, Conor Horn, What happened to Alec Martinez? He's having issues here. I think was able to get service on the car. Yeah, they did jack up the right side, so I'm not exactly sure what happened to Alec, but he is stuck here, it looks like. Maybe serving some sort of a penalty. And he is going to go a lap down and still trying to work his way off of pit road, so that's kind of disastrous for Alec. I'm not sure if this is an organized deal between himself and Yusuf Ghali, who got together last week at Watkins Glen. I know they were organizing some type of a formal penalty. Have to hear a little bit more if Alec can work his way back up into contention, but he'll be 16th, the last place, and he did earn those stage points, so that's going to be a big benefit. But Greg Wellen still a couple positions in front of him and on the lead lap. See if we get the one to go here. If so, or if not, we'll pull up Bailey Turner. And lights do go off, so no interview just yet. We'll see if we can interview any of these guys if we get any kind of yellow flag, but the only caution so far for the stage break, so we went an entire 80 laps, no yellows. We did see some bumping and door banging up there at the front of the field. See how it goes here in stage number 2. Of course, cheer on your favorite driver out there. Let us know who you're rooting for. Who you think's going to win this race? Bailey Turner won stage number 1. He's going to lead these guys across the stripe to begin stage number 2. Green flag back in the air. Oh, and they're checking up cars sideways, spinning, and able to hang on to it actually was the 8 of Garrett Kite. They stacked up big time. I saw the 30 have an issue. That was Jeremy Miller who cut down in front, and he got rammed by the 6, and they all stacked up behind. That was Jeremiah Vincent who got run into by Adam Cabot. Yeah, tagged there, and then the 8 stacked up. He gets hit by Zach Halpern. And Alec Martinez, who's now at the back here, going to lose all of that time, plus he's already a lap down. Well, at the front, the 24 Bailey Turner in the lead. Jeff Wright in second. And for Jeff, a winner-go-home situation, and he is performing incredibly well. Up in second at the conclusion of the stage. Hanging on to it here. Lap 90 goes up on the board. If he can win this race, this could eliminate Alec Martinez. You can't forget that also AJ Stravato is not here. AJ, who came in 3rd in the points, it may still be possible for him to be eliminated by not showing up. He came in here looking at the standings. 33 points ahead of Alec Martinez. Alec can somehow earn 33 points in this race, or 34 rather, and somehow that 48 car wins. That could potentially eliminate AJ Stravato. It's going to be close. Greg Wellen also has to earn at least 34 points. Everybody else, Elliott Butler, he's got to earn 33 to bypass the 33 car in the standings. Dylan Parker, Mark Emerson, Yusuf Ghali, they've all got to earn enough points to make it past AJ. So it could be very close for AJ. And it's unfortunate that he's here on the elimination, or not here on the elimination night. If he does miss out on the next round, if he'll continue to come out and run the races, Bailey Turner holding off the attack of the 48 and the 67 of Conor Horn right here. Saw Conor struggle on the long run. So we'll see what his tactic is here in stage 2. Now Dylan Parker up to 4th. Counting around Jeremy Miller, Elliott Butler, Keith Mayato, Yusuf Ghali, all those guys back here in the top 10. Angelo Ronis in that 10th and final top 10 spot. But Yusuf Ghali, Adam Cabot, they're going at it right here for 8th and 9th. Yusuf with quite a bit of right side damage. The 77 has that right rear and a little bit of right front from the checkup down into turn number 1. And he is doing a pretty solid job. Here, this 48 car is not taking the pressure off Bailey Turner. We're headed towards halfway this next time around. The bonus point for leading a lap would be huge for Jeff Wright. I think there's also bonus points for leading the most laps. So as many points as he can get, and if he wins this race, none of those will really matter. He'll advance no matter what. But if he can't win and somehow ends up in second, with all those bonus points, it could still be enough. He needs to make up at least 28. It'll be tough to say exactly how many he could come out of here with. Adam Cabot's made his way around the 54 of Yusuf Ghali, looking for other battles here. Jeremiah Vincent's closed up to the back of Angelo Ronis. That for the 10th and 11th positions. Alec Martinez back here, last car in the field, 1 lap down. And another half lap or so behind the race leaders. So he has got some ground to make up. At least the car is not destroyed, and it could have very easily been hurt in that stack up. Behind him is Garrett Kite, second to last car on the lead lap. Zach Halpern is 14th with heavy right side damage. We got a 4-car pack here. Dylan Parker, Jeremy Miller, Elliott Butler, Keith Mayato. That is 4th through 7th. These are a couple drivers right here, Dylan and Jeremy, that really struggled as the run went on, and hopefully they've learned a little bit and can apply that as we cross the halfway point. Probably going to be a pit stop yet in this race if we don't get a caution. It'll be a green flag stop, and that is very tricky and not something you do very often here at Martinsville. Trying to see if there's any info on the fuel percentage for the race tonight. You can go pretty good distance here, Martinsville being only a half mile, and you're not on the throttle for the entire lap. You're really off of it for a good portion through these corners. And look at this, Jeremy Miller now starting to feel some pressure from Elliott Butler. These guys with nose damage, they're going to have to worry about overheating. That is definitely a possibility at a track like this. Also, your tires are going to fade a little bit faster with the front end damage because you lose some of that downforce. You start using the right front tire and, yeah, really both front tires around a track as flat as this. So we'll see some of these guys like Elliott Butler and I think Adam Cabot with a little nose damage, Yusuf Ghali with some right front damage. And some of these drivers farther back, Zach Halpern, that have that, they'll start to fade really fast, especially towards the very end of this run. I think Zach already feeling some of those effects. This car's got some really bad damage to that right front. For the race lead, though, Bailey Turner, he's been able to hold off all the advances of the 48. Jeff Wright not done applying that pressure. These two are equally matched. Lap after lap, running very consistent times. The 67 of Conor Horn, about a tenth slower that time around. He might be saving his stuff a little bit, knowing that the 3 car behind him struggled with that. He himself also struggled with that quite a bit at the tail end of stage 1. Can't ever count Conor out, and if we go into a green flag pit stop situation, he could be the guy to beat. A lot of practice doing those, running in Road to Pro and other series. Definitely one of the top drivers on the sim. He makes some pretty cool diagrams showing where the braking points are at, how to get on the pit lane as fast as possible, how late to brake, how fast you can go at the entry and still get away with it, because iRacing's a bit forgiving, we'll say, at the pit entry. You can definitely go in there way too hot. Until you get to the first zone, you've got to be at the speed limit at that point, but caution is out, and that is the 30 of Jeremy Miller around in the outside wall. And that'll stack these guys up for a pit stop under yellow. Let's take a look what happened. All right, so Jeremy Miller racing it up with Elliott Butler. Elliott had been trying for a little bit there. I think it's this set of corners coming up. Down into turn 3. Yep, gives him a shot up the track. He goes, oh, and he tags him again, and Keith Maiato just squeaks on by. That was about as close as you can get to not getting hit. Let's take a look from the back end of that race car. That is what he saw out the back bumper. On pit road they go. See who wins the battle off. Here comes Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner. Bailey's going to win that battle off. And then Jeff Wright, Conor Horn, Dylan Parker, the top 4. 5th will be Keith Maiato, and then Adam Cabot. Looks like Mark Emerson going to get the lucky dog. So that moves Alec Martinez to a wave around position, and this could be a huge break for the 18, who I believe can make it on fuel. But his tires will be 36 laps older than the drivers who are still on the lead lap. We'll see if they get the one to go this time. If not, we'll go to a quick commercial break. All right, still a couple more pace laps, so we're going to go to a side-by-side commercial break. We will be right back.
Welcome to VSPEED, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Conor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design.
All right, and going back green now, the 24 Bailey Turner. Green flag back in the air. Jeff Wright not able to time it, but he'll drop into second, and here comes Dylan Parker, going to try and work around the outside of Conor Horn for third. Conor able to hold on to that position for the moment. He'll actually slide up in front of the 3 and secure that position. The 36 of Keith Maotto now trying to work past Adam Cabot. That would be for fifth. Cabot, really good drive into the corner using that high lane. Able to stay side by side down the backstretch. Maotto now with the advantage in 3 and 4. He'll take that spot. Here comes Yusuf Ghali. Almost tried to get in the gap. Not quite close enough to do so. And Alec Martinez did take the wave around, so everybody in the field on the lead lap. And Zach Halpern did come down for a second pit stop to get some of that right front damage repaired, and they did a decent job of clearing some of that excess sheet metal out of the way. Car looks a little bit better. Not forget this 18 car, he is on much older tires, 43 lap old tires compared to the leader's 7. Alec Martinez could be fighting to stay on a lead in the lead lap. But we are just clicking this race right off. Already 126 laps, now 127 laps completed. Bailey Turner out in front, able to hold off this 48. Guys have been pretty well nose to tail for a lot of this race. We've had the leaders start to break away at points, and then everybody else kind of grouping up in 2 and 3 car packs. So there's been some racing at all points during this event. With only 16 drivers in the field, it's been a really solid race in terms of being competitive. We've had a bunch of guys flopping hands up at the front, comers and goers. That is what you look to see at these short tracks. Bailey Turner seems to have figured it out. He has got a really good race car underneath him tonight, but Jeff Wright appears to be keeping up with him. And I think at the tail end of the run, right before we got that yellow, he was starting to close up and maybe looking to make a move. Keith Maotto, I think, might be the biggest mover, up 8 spots from where he started in 13th. Adam Cabot up 3, Yusuf Ghali up 7, but he's moved almost as many as Maotto. Biggest loser so far, that is Alec Martinez, back 12 into 15th, and right now under pressure from Greg Wellen for the final spot in the field. Alec with those old tires already 8 seconds behind the leaders, and lap times showing it. He is 3/10 off per lap. But that will kind of stabilize at some point. He's running as fast as Zach Halpern, who is definitely a damaged race car on fresh tires, but I'd expect Alec to maybe get back up here and start battling with Garrett and Zach, maybe even Jeremy Miller, who's struggled really badly on these long runs. Alec about 3/10 per lap slower, though. That would mean he'd be right there with the leaders on the tail end of the lead lap when we come to take the checkered. Well, he's going to have to fight to stay on the lead lap. we get a little bit of cloud cover. The top two still battling hard, the 24 and the 48. Conor Horn right there as well, ready to take advantage of any mistakes. Dylan Parker looked like the car to beat early. He's back to 4th. And under pressure from Keith Mayato, who's closed up. There's Adam Cabot, also back behind them. Yusuf Gali, Angelo Ronas, Elliott Butler, Mark Emerson, the top 10. Really a pretty good recovery for Mark, who was at one point last. Over a lap and a half down. So he's done a good job now to get up to 10th. The car is clean. He's made his way past Jeremiah Vincent. Pretty well spaced out except for these top three. They are right on top of each other. The 24 Bailey Turner has been able to withstand the constant assault from the 48. That time Jeff Wright a little bit wide, trying to do something different. He's got to find a way around. Still has quite a bit of time to figure it out. As now Alec Martinez falls to last and already over a half a lap behind, so he has to hope that a yellow comes out or that those leaders fade bad enough that he can keep up and not lose quite as much time later in this race, but it would be a tall task to try and stay on the lead lap. These top three continuing to pull away, and Mayato closing more and more on Dylan Parker. It looked like Yusuf Gali just about to make the move on Adam Cabot. Angelo Ronas, Elliott Butler, Mark Emerson, Jeremiah Vincent, all within striking distance of this battle. It'll be very interesting to see how this elimination works out with Greg Wellen and Alec Martinez both back here at the tail end of the field, 15th and 16th. As car goes around, I think Mark Emerson, and he is around. Here comes Alec Martinez, going to go on past, so that is exactly the break he needed. But Mark Emerson with problems. There is trouble on the racetrack. Let's go take a look at what happened to the 22. See who he was racing with. Like it had to do with the 9 car of Jeremiah Vincent, sending him around in 3 and 4. Mark able to back it up onto the curb and out of the way. He will stay on the lead lap, but he'll go straight to the back of the field in 16th. Leaders bringing it down pit road, led by Bailey Turner. See who wins this battle off of pit lane. Anybody's going to try 2 tires. Now may be the time to do it. That used to be a good strategy at this racetrack. And I see 2 drivers did it. Conor Horn, Yusuf Gali, 2 tire stops. They're going to go to the top of the chart now, and Bailey Turner going to go to 3rd, Jeff Wright 4th, Dylan Parker 5th. And Alec Martinez, he's going to work his way off of pit road. He's up to 12th now, so just getting back on sequence. Some of those guys behind him stayed on pit road for an extended time. to take a little bit of damage repair. Conor Horn, 2 tires. Yusuf Ghali, 2 tires. See if any of these drivers bring it back down here. It will stay out. See if we get the one to go this time. But just a quick race recap up there. 3 cautions, 3 lead changes. Been very competitive at the front of the field, though. These guys have done a really good job racing around each other here tonight. Let's see if we can pull 3rd place driver up into the booth for just a quick interview. Bailey Turner, Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Bailey, you won stage number 1. You were able to save tires and got those guys in the late stages of that run. I think that's going to be the case here going towards the end of the race.
It's tough to say, to be honest. Yusuf's taken 2, and we got teammates up front, so I'm not going to cut him any breaks. You know, I'm not here for the playoffs. I'm here to win a race, and I had myself in position right there. So this is how I lost Nashville. Somebody took 2 tires earlier in the season, and ended up not working out too well for me. So not going to pull any punches here. Just going to make sure to try stay ahead of the guys with 4 tires and see what we can do.
There, hopefully it works out a little bit better for you this time. You've got a very fast race car. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and that is Bailey Turner, who's going to roll off 3rd here. 54 of Yusuf Ghali and 67 of Conor Horn going to be controlled. 67 gets going on the high side, spinning the tires up high is Jeff Wright. That opens the door for Bailey to move on through, but they will be battling now side by side. And remember, Jeff, it's a win or go home situation. Essentially, I don't think he can point his way in. They battle now for 3rd, and those top 2 drivers on those 2 tires. We'll see if it works out. They only had about 14 laps or so on that set of Goodyears, but you can already see Bailey Turner's got good speed. He's got the drive off, and we are crashing farther back. That is going to be the 30 of Jeremy Miller going around. Looks like Adam Cabot was involved. Ooh, Garrett Kite with huge damage to the nose of that race car. Take a look. Oh, and they're going at it right here on the backstretch. Let's see what happened to bring this one out and see if that can explain itself. All right. So it looks like it was between those 2 drivers. The 30 of Jeremy Miller down low on Zach Halpern. Down into the corner. Garrett just a little late in the braking zone. Spins him around. And then he gets tagged the 2nd time. So those are the only 2 drivers involved. That brings out the yellow flag. Some bent fenders, some hurt feelings, and a little bit of drama there on the backstretch following the wreck. Every caution lap we run is going to help out Conor Horn, who took those 2 tires. Bailey had the drive off. He was about to make a move on Yusuf. The yellow flag flew, so we'll see if that continues to be the case. If he can't get back up to the race lead, strategy call of the race would be for Conor Horn and Yusuf Ghali. It all works out for them. We have yet to find out, though. It'll be less than 50 to go. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to VSPEED, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between 1st and 2nd going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Conor Horn.
These 2 have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
We'll be going green. This time it will be 45, or rather 43. My math, it was going the wrong way right there. 43 laps to go in this race. Conor Horn elects the outside lane again. His teammate down low, that is Yusuf Ghali, and then Jeff Wright in the second row. They stack it up just a little bit as Bailey Turner trying to defend. He's going to try and give a shot to Yusuf Ghali, who's holding up the inside groove. That might open up an opportunity for the 48 to get to the third spot as he continues to hold the outside of the 54. They've kind of boxed in the 24, who's really been the best car here in stage 2. And Conor Horn pulling away by a couple of car lengths. Oh, and the 54 is going to go around. 48 of Jeff Wright goes around. That is going to be disastrous for his chances of advancing to round 2. He'll drop straight to last in the field. The yellow flag does fly. Go back and take a look. All right, and this is what we are seeing here. The 48 of Jeff Wright on the outside of the 54. He locks it up, goes up into the 48. A little tap from the 24. Didn't help things, but luckily nobody else ran into him. Let's go back one more time. As, yeah, just slips up and then kind of coincidental contact between the 24 and the 54. Frustration, I'm sure, for the 48, who was running so well, had a good opportunity potentially get up there and race for this win. We'll have less than 40 laps to try and make it up. Take a look at the points entering into tonight's race. You can see he was all the way at the bottom, 28 out. Needed to win here tonight. He's going to bring it on the pit road right now and take a new set of Goodyear Eagles. Also the 54 back on pit road. So Yusuf Ghali potentially taking at least the other 2 tires that he didn't on the previous stop. Yeah, this was the point standings coming into tonight's race. You can see how close it was right around that cut line. Alec Martinez was tied, and he got some stage points and currently running in front of Greg Wellen. So at the moment, it is possible for him to move on. Also, Jeremiah Vincent up about 6 positions on Greg Wellen. So it'll be very close between those two. And a few others right there. I mean, Keith Mayatos had a very strong race. He rides 4th, so he could move on. He's currently up 10 positions on Greg Wellen, plus the bonus point from the stage. It's going to be close for Keith. I think Jeff, though, may have lost his opportunity. But AJ Stravato not in this event. He's still a question mark as to whether or not he's going to be moving on. Mark Emerson brings it back down pit road. Not sure what that's all about. That car with a little bit of right side damage. Try and get a little bit more of that cleared. It's so difficult to make up or get your car repaired with these short caution laps. Also, Jeremy Miller back on pit road. Get rolling now. We get the signal 1 to go. It'll be Conor Horn taking the outside lane again. Lee Turner going to be down on the inside. situation Bailey was talking about before, where he was out in front, looked like he was going to win the race, and the drivers took 2 in front of him. Things didn't work out. Keith Maotto ended up winning that race. Keith is right here now in 4th, up there on that high side. He'll have a good opportunity to reference the restart, but doesn't time it very well in the 24 of Bailey. Turner able to get away for the moment, but Keith going to try and charge back on that high side, try and keep it wound up, but can't get to the outside of Bailey Turner. So Conor Horn, remember, 2 tires. He's going to get a shunt there from Bailey. That'll send the 67 way up the racetrack. Conor would repay the favor if he could get back there, but now the battle is on. Dylan Parker, trying to get his first victory of the season, now finds his way back towards the front. Remember, Dylan led 65 laps in this race. It feels like so long ago, but it was those first 65 laps, and he has not been to the front since. And closing up now on Bailey Turner, and caution going to fly again. That is the 30 of Jeremy Miller, the 54 of Yusuf Ghali, heavy damage. All right, trying to find what happened here. From the nose of Yusuf Ghali, they're making contact up in front. Oh, and Zach Halpern goes around. Oh, Jeff Wright heavily involved in this one. Oh man, that's disaster. That is going to surely end his day, as Jeff Wright gets tagged by the 7 and then slams the inside. Mark Emerson also a little contact there, but yeah, Jeremy Miller, Yusuf Ghali, big damage on both of those race cars. Hard hits to the inside wall. Zach Halpern, he'll continue on. The car didn't get too much damage because really the 48 kind of saved him from going all the way around. Actually, he did get pretty hard hit from behind. Cautions just stacking up here, one on top of another. Meanwhile, Bailey Turner, your race leader, he's going to have Conor Horn right next to him on the restart. Not many laps ago, he pushed him out of the way. So things will get interesting here. It'll be less than 30 laps remaining. We're going to go back to a quick side-by-side commercial break, and we will be right back.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. A pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history, from the past to the present, from Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, there's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
About to go back green, less than 30 laps remaining. Bailey Turner on the high side for this restart. He'll have control. The 67 of Conor Horn going to try and get the best start he can on 2 much older tires than Keith Mayato and Dylan Parker behind them. Pretty good restart overall. Here goes Dylan, gonna dive to the inside, take it 3 wide with himself, the 67 and the 36 of Mayato. Mayato backs out of it and gonna try and live to race another lap as he'll go side by side with Angelo Ronas now battling for this second position. A little bit of bumping right there. Dylan Parker gonna make the pass. Conor goes into the outside wall, and that stacks them all up. Conor starting to feel the effects of those 2 tires really loose there up out of the corner after a little bit of door contact. Here comes Alec Martinez, gonna look, try and make the move on Mayato. Doesn't elect to do so. He'll back off, and that stacks him up even further behind him. Mayato now starting to put the pressure on Angelo Ronas, who's looking to make the move on Conor Horn, but can't quite get underneath him. It'll be 25 laps to go, and Bailey Turner with some pressure now from Dylan Parker, who was very fast early on. Contact back there between Mayato and Ronas, side by side into turn 1. Mayato with the preferred groove. See if you can get the drive up out of the corner. Good job right there. Side by side to turn 3. 36 with the advantage through here. Really nice out of turn 4. Able to almost entirely clear him, but Angelo really putting the power down on that high side. Alec Martinez now driving his heart out up to 6th, trying to get into the top 5 after at one point being last and within a half lap of going 2 laps down. But if Alec can get back up here and onto the podium, got to give him driver of the race. That would be just an incredible performance. Meanwhile, the battle for the race lead. Here goes Dylan Parker jumping to the outside of Bailey Turner. Not going to be able to stay there, though, as the 24 shuts the door. The 24 and the 3. A historic battle happening here at a historic racetrack. Bailey Turner, he survived the pressure from the 48 for so many laps, but here comes Dylan. Really good drive out of turn 4. He's going to do the swap-aroo and go to the outside. But the 24 able to hold him off right there, slips up in front of him. And Dylan's going to send him around up into the outside wall. Goes the 24, caution flies. And Bailey Turner is not going to be happy about that. I know Dylan Parker is going for the win to lock himself into the next round. That is going to be the drama right there. Saw it happen right on our screens. As Bailey Turner, your race leader, racing it up with Dylan Parker. Went down into turn 3, and he just sent him. Looked a little bit like that looked a little bit like Denny Hamlin on Chase Elliott a few years back. Same spot on the racetrack, and now Bailey with big damage. Conor Horn stays on the racetrack along with Keith Mayato, Garrett Kite, Elliott Butler, Mark Emerson, Yusuf Ghali, Zach Halpern, and Jeremy Miller all remain on the racetrack. Everybody else brings it down, though. Dylan Parker gives up the race lead. I'm not sure if there's a penalty for what he just did, or if he's just kind of self-penalizing. But Dylan got back to the point, and now going to be right towards the back end of the field. Jeff Wright has taken it behind the wall. Jeremiah Vincent shown as the last car on the lead lap at the moment. Bailey Turner gets going, though. He'll take that back to 15th, though, from the race lead, and that's going to hand it to Conor Horn. Maybe Mayato has a shot at him. He's got pressure left sides. Drama just continues to build in this league. We had the drama from Charlotte a couple weeks back. We had some wrecks last week at Watkins Glen. We got a couple of these guys against each other, and yeah, that's gonna be a talking point, I think, after the race. That wreck right there, but Going to make things all the more interesting for the next 2 rounds of the playoffs, and one of those drivers already locked in who doesn't have to worry about the drama from tonight's race. That is going to be Conor Horn, who is taking over the race lead again, but 37 laps on his right sides and even more on the left sides, probably around 50, maybe 60. See if he is able to withstand the pressure from Mayato, Garrett Kite, Elliott Butler, Mark Emerson, and others who were able to stay out here. Pace truck lights do go off. And it will be 15 laps remaining in this one. Conor Horn looking for his 8th victory of the season. Keith Mayato would be looking for his 3rd. And then the next 6 cars behind them have yet to win this season. And Conor picks the inside lane this time. And he's going to push Keith up the hill here in 3 and 4. And with the drive off, though, big tire spin from the 36. And Conor instantly gets an advantage out in front. But maybe not as much of an advantage as he'd like. Zach Halpern hard in the wall. Jeremy Miller in the wall. We're back under yellow. What is going on back here? Let's take a look. All right, let's go to a bit of an overhead view. Trying to figure out what happened on the tires there. And Zach Carr with the block on Alec Martinez. And oh man, horrible crash for Jeremy Miller. Driver's side into the outside wall. Oh my goodness, that is a violent hit. You never want to go driver's door first. And that was just the way that worked out. 7 gets hooked, cracks back into the 30. They both slam the wall. Jeremy Miller able to drive away, though. Zach Halpern's pulled it onto pit road. Bailey Turner back on pit road, getting more damage repaired. And this just playing perfectly into Conor Horn's hands here as the 8 of Garrett Kite, who does have fresher tires all around, but with heavier damage, going to be in second here. Mayato, though, might have a good opportunity. If he can line up behind Conor and get to second, he'll have the best shot, I think, make the pass. But look at Mark Emerson. Mark has survived this thing. Started 12th. He was last at one point. A lap down in last. And he is back up in here in the top 5. Car right behind him has no front end. And then the car behind that one has pretty much fresh tires, so he's going to have a little pressure here, I think, the last few laps. Also, Jeremiah Vincent, he has hung around all race, doing exactly what he needs to do. Try and point his way in. Right now would be, I think, well, no, it's going to be very close between him and Greg Wellen. Greg only 4 positions behind him. The gap was 6 points between those 2 drivers headed in, but he also has to be concerned about Alec Martinez, who has... oh no, Alec back to 14th. Oh boy, this is going to be extremely close. I don't know, I didn't see exactly what happened to Alec, unless he had to check up for one of those wrecks. He is all the way back here in 14th now, so all of those drivers right below the cut line, or right at the cut line, it's going to be down to single points in this race that determine who advances into round number 2. But either way, Conor Horn in control of this restart. He's got Garrett Kite to his outside, then Keith Mayato, Mark Emerson, Yusuf Ghali, Adam Cabot, Jeremiah Vincent, Dylan Parker, Elliott Butler, Angelo Ronas, the top 10. Pace truck makes the hard left-hand turn onto pit lane. Conor Horn survived another restart. And they are stacking up a little bit there. And not a great jump by the 36 who's going to try and shoot the gap. He'll get into Garrett Kite, though, and then around goes my auto. And another yellow flag going to fly. Other cars involved in that. Jeremiah Vincent, heavy contact. And Greg Wellen also. So, did Alec Martinez get a piece of it? No, he looks to have survived. Oh my gosh, it just continues to build. I'm going to go back and take a look here at the cause of the yellow. We're going to go, I think, to the overhead view because the 8 car filled the gap down in the low lane. It's so hard to slow up behind other drivers. But it looked like my auto got into him, and then Keith got turned around by Yusuf Ghali. Keith into the braking zone. The 8 car dropped down in, and they just ran into him, and then the 54 got into him. But Jeremiah Vincent, Greg Wellen going around. Let's see what happens farther back in the field. Yeah, Jeremiah checking up, goes to the outside, and head-on contact with the 8 car. What happened to Greg Wellen exactly? Tried to shoot the gap, and he gets turned around by the 30 of Jeremy Miller. Backs up right in front of him. Not sure if that was intentional or not. But either way, not good for Greg, who goes back to 13th now, and heavy damage on the car. Alec Martinez moves to 11th. Jeremiah Vincent still up here in the top 5, but also missing the front end. Going to come down to either a green-white checkered overtime scenario, or it is going to be just a couple laps to go. I don't really know. Mark Emerson, though, in 2nd position, got 16 lap fresher tires than Conor. Then Adam Cabot in 3rd. He pitted 13 laps ago. I think almost all of these laps are under yellow. Don't count out that 77. He'll have a good shot at Conor. And he's got nothing to lose here. He's already advancing, so another win would just potentially cement him in the championship 4 with those additional playoff points. It is definitely getting interesting here at Martinsville, as it always does late in the going. I don't know who's going to win this one. Conor's got a tall task to hold these guys off. They have really been pushing and shoving. We're going to get the one to go this time. It'll be a 3-lap shootout. Mark Emerson get his first victory of the season. It'd be an incredible recovery for him. He was a lap down, almost 2 laps down at one point. Oh no, and we've got the 54 spinning under the yellow. Off of the 9 car, maybe a technical issue. Pace truck is going to roll onto pit lane. And that is a problem for Yusuf Ghali. He is sitting on the racetrack still, waiting to get going here. I think the yellow has been extended. Go back and see what happened here. This looked... I'm not sure what happened, but he's going to get... What is... Well, he pulled back in line and then drove into Mark Emerson, who then hit the 67 of Conor Horn. And we've had the caution extended again. I'm not sure if Mark is going to get his spots back. Here he comes. Going to roll back around the outside. We'll see if these guys give him room. Should be restarting in 2nd. Pace truck. Now going to roll in. This has been very confusing. But we'll have an overtime scenario now. The 67 of Conor Horn with the race lead gets going, and then Mark Emerson second, trying to get up to speed. They're spinning the tires farther back. 2 to go for Conor Horn. And Adam Cabot in second now as Mark Emerson slips up the racetrack back to fourth. He goes, and they are blocking farther back. That's the 24 and the 18. Down into the corner, and the 77 goes around. Yellow flag flies. Dylan Parker gets into the 77 of Adam Cabot. And it seems all chaos is broken out here. This is very confusing, and these guys are not holding back at this point. Probably not a lot of happy drivers, as Dylan Parker was up to third, and he is on the same tires as Cabot. He goes to the inside. 77 gets sent around. Go back to overhead view here if we can. Dylan kind of pushed the 22 a little bit out of the way. And then down in the corner, a late dive. Able to, for the most part, keep it down there, but then the wiggle in the middle of the corner, I think he was losing the back end of the car, so just sent it in too deep. And not too sure about what's going on right here. But he is getting an EOL, I believe. 77 of Adam Cabot goes towards the back of the field. He's going to bring it onto pit road. Lots of trouble out here in the closing laps of this race. We had such a good run going for the first 75% of this race, and the last 50 laps have been a struggle for these guys. But it is the cutoff race. A lot of tensions running high. Drivers trying to get into that second round, and now Jeremiah Vincent could be in the Catbird seat. He's up a few spots over Alec Martinez, and then Greg Wellen back in 10th. It is going to be as close as it gets between the 9, the 94, and the 18. As still pacing here. We're going to go to a side-by-side very quickly. We'll be right back. Working down into the final corners here, getting ready to take the green. Mark Emerson, Conor Horn, they'll be side by side. Now green flag back in the air, 2 to go. Another attempt at overtime. And Mark Emerson now with potentially another shot at the victory. Conor Horn, though, pulling away now 2 or 3 car lengths. They're 3 wide back here. That is Bailey Turner, Jeremiah Vincent, and others. And there goes Jeremiah around. Yellow flag again, as Elliott Butler goes around. It looks like Keith Mayato was on pit lane. I'm not sure if Keith was just avoiding the accident, but let's go back and take a look. Kind of saw that one coming from a mile away. That 24 car has been fast. I'm sure he's upset after what happened to him earlier. He is in behind the 9, down in the corner, just gets to his inside and bends him around. And nobody else runs into him. And I think Mayato did make an evasive maneuver there, or maybe he had an issue. But then the 6 car also goes around out of the corner. Let's see what happened to him. Lincoln a bit here, and then the 30 gets into him, sends him around into the side of Adam Cabot. Still, Conor Horn continues to lead. 51 laps now, and those will continue to tick up here under the yellow flag. And to recap, 11 cautions now after a caution-free first 80 laps. The last 129 have produced 10 cautions on top of that stage caution. Probably not the smooth sailing these guys at the front were hoping would happen. But it has worked out for Conor Horn in a lot of these situations. It seems to do so. Conor, so good at taking advantage of chaos and coming out on the best end of it. Got Alec Martinez in here behind him, though. Alec's got much fresher tires. And it shows Mark with three laps on his stint. That doesn't seem so. Either way, Mark, though, started 12th up to 2nd. Alec Martinez right back to where he started. And another driver that was last and over a lap and a half down up here in the podium position. So Alec has had an incredible comeback after a bizarre call on pit road to put him a lap down. And it looks like Conor is going to elect to take the outside lane again. We'll get another opportunity to go overtime racing. Not sure how many we get. I think just 3. Conor was driving away from Mark, so Alec is going to have to get the best start possible. Try and get around that 22. Every point is going to matter for this 18. I think he's in a good spot, assuming he doesn't get taken out here late in the going. And again, Conor, good jump on that restart. Spinning the tires is Garrett Kite. Going to Mark Emerson, though. He's right here, a car length behind. Can he get it done? Doesn't seem to have the speed on the straights, though, with all that damage on the race car. 2, 3 wide farther back. Mayato weaving his way through, trying to get back up in contention. And I think maybe cars going around back there. No, they survive. White flag in the air. It is Conor Horn, 2 car lengths in hand over Mark Emerson, and Mark is not able to close up out of turn 2. Looks like Conor Horn, barring a huge mistake here in 3 and 4, he's going to go on and win at Martinsville. 8 wins on the season. Conor Horn wins. 2nd and 3rd, Mark Emerson, Alec Martinez close at the line. And oh, Adam Cabot sent into the wall after the end of the race. Conor Horn, he gets another checkered flag here in the Virtual Racing League, continuing to add to his legacy in this series. And he is going to burn it down here in front of the fans in Martinsville. So congrats to Conor, 8th win of the season. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break to interview the top 3 drivers.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. A pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history, from the past to the present, from Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, there's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
Back at the racetrack now, going to be pulling up our third place finisher first. Going to be Alec Martinez. Alec, Adam in the VSPEED booth, you got a copy?
I do.
Well, Alec, the definition of an up and down race for you here tonight. Man, you end up on the podium, and yourself and Mark Emerson, the biggest movers, and I'd say both drivers of the race. You end up here. A very strong finish, exactly what you needed. Just talk to us about that drive back towards the front.
That was something. Well, the reason I went a lap down, because obviously it was true here. Everybody here is racing in their houses, and me being a 15-year-old, I'm racing on here. And I thought my mom had the house key, but apparently she didn't. So I had to let her back into the house. So I don't want to keep her waiting outside. So I let her in, and I got back to the sim. I ran upstairs, and I got back to it. But man, that was up and down. Those cautions fell perfectly for me, and then all the wrecking helped, and then I got up to the front, and then just all of it was wild, and I don't even know what happened. But I apologize to Zach and Jeremy and everybody else who got in that. I was trying to fake him low, and I think he went to counter it, and I hit him, and they died. So I apologize to them, but man, what a race. I think we should be in the playoffs for the next round, so we're going to try to go to Phoenix and do good. I got a challenge next week. I have to run above the yellow line all next week on the dog leg, so that'll be interesting. But it'll be interesting next week. It'll be interesting next round. We got 1.5 mile short track. I don't know what the other track is, but yeah, it's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. And I don't know how I made it through, but how about that?
Yeah, you were last and over 1.5 laps behind. Somehow you end up here in third. You always find your way towards the front, and you do it again here at probably one of the most difficult places to do something like that, at Martinsville. But yeah, definitely incredible performance from you here tonight. And like you said, we go to Phoenix, so is that penalty on you? Is that going to be the whole race or just in that first stage?
Oh, just the first stage. Just the first stage. Me and Yusuf worked something out. First stage. I think it's 45 laps. So I hope we don't have to pit, because I'm going to have to go under the yellow line. So that's not going to be good. But
I guess that would count as
yeah.
Yeah, breaking that penalty. So
yeah. So we're just going to keep her above the yellow line for first stage, and then we'll go ahead to the second stage. So we'll see what happens. But man, that was quite the race. I don't know if I had damage or not, but if I kept the car clean, great. But man, that was crazy. I hope I made it to this next round. I think I did, so that's good. So we're gonna get one step closer to the championship and try to win it, and we'll see what happens.
yeah, you came in tied for that last spot in the playoffs, and you beat both the guys you had to. So I think you're moving on. But yeah, third place here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, you for doing the broadcast. My family watching. Without them, I wouldn't be, doing this, and without everybody watching, it wouldn't be possible for you to be doing this. So appreciate all the viewers, everybody in VRL, all the drivers for racing clean. We had 150 laps green. So that was crazy. That was fun racing that first stage, going green for 80 laps. This track, it's fun when you get some green flag action here. And man, short tracks, awesome. More short tracks. That's what we need. But thank all the admins: Reggie Ortega, Mark Emerson, Elliot Butler, Jeremiah Vincent, and then my teammates Mark Emerson, Angelo Veronis. We all got in the top 5, or we got top 4. So 3 of us in the top 4. You'll love to see it. Congrats to Conor on the win. Congrats to Mark on the 2nd place, and we're gonna go get him at Phoenix.
Awesome, Alec. Well, great drive back up onto the podium here tonight. So we'll catch you next week.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll see you on Monday.
Yes, sir. All right, Alec Martinez talking about racing me in the Below the Double Yellow Xfinity Series on Monday. I may or may not make it. But next up, 2nd place finisher, Mark Emerson. You got a copy.
Got you.
Well, Mark, you and Alec had kind of similar trajectories throughout the race. Very up and down. You were last at one point, a lap down, lap and a half down or so. And man, you get up here, you finish 2nd. How did that happen?
Other people's stupidity and impatience and incompetence.
Well, simple enough answer for me. Did you think you were going to have a shot at Conor there, or were the tires too worn out in your car?
Oh, no. No way. I knew I wasn't going to get it. It was just a matter of telling Alec not to run me over because I had no pace.
Yeah, the car was pretty beat up there.
Yeah,
but
blame Yusuf.
yeah, really incredible drive back up to the front, though, and I guess we'll keep it short and sweet. Next week, we go to Phoenix. How do you feel about going out there to start round number 2?
I like Phoenix. Good track. I'm typically semi-competitive there, so I shouldn't have too much of an issue. Next round, I'm pretty sure I'm locked in. I mean, I don't see how I can't be. And yeah, the whole next 3 races for next round, I'm pretty strong at all those.
Yeah, if I can recall, I think you were pretty good at Richmond the last time I saw you there. So definitely be looking to see if you can get a win in that next round and find that victory lane for the first time this season. But you start 12th, finish 2nd here tonight, and anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My teammates, 2nd, 3rd, 4th place finish right there, all planned and calculated. I was just sandbagging at the beginning just to make sure everybody else was, not worried about me. And everybody else for taking each other out so I could have a good race.
Yeah, sometimes it's as easy as them clearing themselves out and parting the Red Sea, if you will. But congrats tonight, Mark, 2nd place. We'll catch you next week.
See you then.
All right, 2nd place, Mark Emerson. Let's go to race winner Conor Horn. Gets his 8th victory of the season. Conor, had him in the VSPEED booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Conor, it was a clean race, and then it was a crazy race. I guess you could probably define it as that. The first 75%, you guys went green, and you were able to take advantage there in the late going and get up to the point with the 2-tire stop, and just explain holding those guys off.
I don't think holding those guys off was going to be a problem unless they made contact with me. I didn't think contact was going to happen until like the last, 20, 30 laps, but I don't know, Bailey let me in through 1 and 2 on the 1 restart, and then he just sends me into turn 3. So that pissed me off. He said he didn't mean it, but in that position as a driver, you don't care if he says sorry, you're still going to send him. So I was trying to get back to his bumper, and then the next restart, Dylan literally misses turns 1 and turn 3, and our contact in turn 3 was net code, but in the car I didn't think it was, so I was trying to send him. So on 2 tires, I was still trying to chase them down as those 2, Dylan and Bailey, battled, and I don't care who I got to first, one of them was getting sent, but I knew Dylan got hit by Bailey earlier at the end of stage 1, so I knew something was going to happen there, and sure enough, sort of like how the 2017 fall race ended up for Chase Elliott, that's how Bailey ended up. He ended up in the outside wall because Dylan just dumped him. And obviously Dylan knew he was getting an EOL, so he pit, and that luckily gave me the lead right back, because if those 2 didn't get into it, I don't know if I would have gotten back by them to win the race on 2 tires. So luckily I got the track position, and I was just able to dictate the restarts and all that, and do what I wanted, go when I wanted, which was big because you have to go early or else you're going to probably get sent into turn 1. I think Garrett got turned, Adam got turned, Mark got turned. Mark got turned like 3 times, 1 under yellow. A lot happened back there, but when you have control of the race on restarts, you can get away from all that. So I got lucky that those two got into it and it gave me the lead back.
Yeah, definitely crazy there at the end, and you find victory lane for the 8th time this season, adding to that playoff point total. We go to Phoenix for round 2. They'll have a pretty good cushion even just starting the round, but how do you feel about going to that racetrack?
I like Phoenix. I feel like me and Yusuf are really good there. I know Adam's good there too if he races, but another track where getting track position matters. Not as much as Martinsville, but you really just want to be in like the top 3, top 5 at Phoenix. If you start badly, you're probably not going to make up that many spots and keep the tires on it. So we'll try to get prepared for that and just be ready and try to avoid everyone else's messes the next few weeks.
Yeah, and that is going to definitely be key. I think you've got a pretty good margin. You'll have a little bit less stress on your shoulders to advance into the championship finale, but still some work to be done, that is for sure. But tonight's race, you start 4th, lead 57 laps on the way to victory for the 8th time this season. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
The teammates, Yusuf Ghali, he ran well, top 5. Not sure what happened under yellow and before that, but he ran well. Jeremy Miller, he was top 5 until he got wrecked. He got into a lot of stuff and still finished 9th, so good run for him. And Halpern got caught up in other people's messes as well, and he still brought it home in a decent position for what his car looked like. So we all did what we could. I got lucky to get the win, and obviously Jeremy got lucky with a top 10 with down 500 RPM. So that's just Martinsville. It's a crazy race. I think I said at one point you could have no front bumper and finish top 5, and I think someone might have done that. So it's just Martinsville. First 150 laps were good. I wish the last 60 actually could have been good as well, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, and that is it was really the tale of 2 races here tonight, but it was entertaining nonetheless in both parts of the race. But you come out on top. Congrats again, and catch you next week.
All right, I'll see you there, Adam. Appreciate what you do.
Is Conor Horn, and actually we are off next 2 weeks. Got a bye week next week. Back in 2 weeks at Phoenix. But let's take a look at the rest of the results here tonight from Martinsville as we conclude round number 1 of the playoffs. It's going to be very close around that cut line, but 11 cautions here tonight. 6 lead changes. I think we actually had more cautions than that. I'm not sure it counted the last couple. But Conor Horn takes the win for the 8th time this season. Mark Emerson with a very good recovery in this one. He comes home 2nd. Alec Martinez also incredible recovery. He finishes in 3rd. Angelo Rona's strong run finishes 4th. Adam Cabot comes home 5th. Jeremiah Vincent in 6th. Might be enough to squeak into the playoffs. We'll have to see how things shake out. Elliott Butler finishes 7th. Bailey Turner 8th. Jeremy Miller 9th. Garrett Kite ends up in the 10th position. In 11th, Greg Wellen. 12th, Dylan Parker. 13th, Keith Mayato. I think he may be eliminated based on that. Greg Wellen, it's going to be close for him as well. Zach Halpern finishes 14th. Yusuf Ghali 15th. Jeff Wright 16th, going to be eliminated. And 17th shown here, Reggie Ortega, but he didn't race. He was in the session just adminning. But that is going to do it for tonight's race. We'll be back on Tuesday night with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Looking forward to that one over there. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with this series on Wednesday nights at Phoenix. So you won't want to miss that one, kicking off round 2 of the playoffs. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, following, or checking us out at all these different social media outlets. Also visit us at vspeedsim.com to learn more about the services and products that we offer. And hope you guys all enjoyed this kind of crazy end to the race, and really a fun one overall, but unpredictable, we'll say that. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.